226. You shall only be prohibited from nourishing yourselves with things that have themselves perished and are rotten and therefore are inedible. Given to you are all edible and non-poisonous fruits and vegetables, all fermented juices, alcohol such as wine, beer, spirits, etc., and all the meat of all animals and other creatures from which you wish to eat, from the small rodent, from the rabbit, the goat, the sheep and the pig, cattle, the horse and the camel, and everything that tastes good to you, but always in a tolerable and healthy quantity without gorging or gluttony, the animals and other creatures, rodents, rabbits, goats and sheep, pigs and cattle, horses and camels, and everything that is edible may appear unclean externally because they live in dirt, but on the inside they are clean and good, therefore they may serve as nourishment once the outside is cleaned of dirt. Also the blood of the animals and other creatures may serve as nourishment in some cases, and the fermented juice, alcohol such as wine, beer, spirits, etc., shall only be enjoyed in a small measure so that no drunkenness obscures the senses. Therefore the measure shall not be exceeded in any things, and obedience shall be practiced in all things so that all nourishment serves the bodily good and health. 227. And if it is said to you that you shall follow the teaching of the prophets, then you do not want to follow the call and say that you want to hurry after what was found existing since time immemorial in the belief in divinities and tin gods, so the way you talk. In the same way your fathers and mothers did not have any intellect and did not go in the right direction. 228. And those who are knowing and have fallen into iniquity, unfairness/irresponsibility, are like a man who is calling to something that cannot hear and cannot see anything, is deaf, blind and dumb, and does not perceive any call or any cry. 229. Those amongst you who conceal, dissemble, and deny any part whatsoever of what is given through the laws of the creative creation, and of the teaching of the true prophets and their true writings, and those who accept the slander, calumny, in exchange for a miserable price, they are filling their admonishment conscience with nothing but fire that devours them inwardly and makes them loveless, inequitable, unfair, unknowing, unfree, dispeaceful and inharmonious. They cannot cleanse their admonishment conscience, and they impose a great inner punishment on themselves because they are the ones who barter for error, and they do not know how great is their underestimation of the burning fire of their admonishment conscience. 230. The proclaimers, the prophets, have indeed brought the writing of the real truth, but nevertheless it is certain that you are at odds with the word and the writing of the proclaimers, the prophets. You have gone far in enmity and curse and slay the proclaimers, the prophets, who are bringing you the teaching of truth and a true life. 231. Equitableness, fairness, is not a matter of you turning your eyes to the east, west, south or north and knowing a lot about the world, but only the one who accepts the real truth, the truth of the creative creation, and its existence in reality, its laws and recommendations and all its inexhaustible works truly lives in equitableness, fairness. And equitableness, fairness, consists in learning the writing of the proclaimers, the prophets, and leading one's present existence in accordance with their truth, in love, peace and freedom, and in consonance harmony. And equitableness, fairness, consists in giving your surplus gains to the needy and to orphans as well as to waifers and all those who are obliged to request a charitable donation, or to those who are prisoners and who are starving. And equitableness, fairness, is rewarding those who keep their promises and do not break their word when they have given their word. And equitableness, fairness, is helping those who are patient in their poverty and affliction as well as those who are steadfast in times of battle, times of war, in the truth so that they may honestly prove themselves and no longer become thieves, deceivers, murderers and the like, and not turn to God or to gods in anxiety and fear. 232. Through your belief in gods and tin gods which demand blood, revenge and punishment from you, You believe that a right measure of revenge and retribution has been decreed for you, and that you shall shed blood and destroy life for those killed, murdered, for adultery and theft and deception, as well as for many other things, just as the gods and tin gods you have invented command you. Therefore it is only revenge and retribution which you yourselves have invented that is meted out on the guilty ones. Indeed, however, the creative creation did not issue any such law that a misdeed or bad deed shall be punished by revenge and retribution involving harming the body or taking life, because the creative creation gave the recommendation that you shall not kill in degeneracy, do not kill out of revenge and retribution, as a punishment, out of hatred or jealousy, and also not through robbery, fury and anger, out of greed and avarice and many more, because it belongs to degeneration and goes against the creationally given laws and is not worthy of the people of your kind, human beings. 233. But you believe in divinities and tin gods, to which you have assigned false and delusional rights and claims, as well as the instruction and demand for revenge and retribution and punishment, so that retribution shall be practiced in right measure by free ones for the free, by slaves for the slaves, by woman for the woman, and by man for the man. But this is lies and deception, because no law and no recommendation of the creation demands such a thing, but the opposite. Punishment for misdeeds and bad deeds shall only be given in accordance with the laws and recommendations of the primal power creation, which are given in such a way that however guilty anyone is, they shall not be harmed in life or limb, so that every misdeed, fallibility and bad deed of any type shall be punished in love and humanity, so that every guilty one, every child, every woman and every man may draw a good lesson from it and turn to the better and do good, so that reintegration into the people's society may be once again possible when the conditions are good for it. If reintegration into the people's society is not possible because the criminal or murderous sense of the guilty ones does not change, and no rationality and no love can be brought forth, as well as no peace and no concord harmony, then the guilty ones shall be separated from the people's society for their lifetime and brought to a place of fulfillment of guidelines, place of execution of punishment equals island, secluded area, etc., where they are imprisoned and live in freedom within the confines and learn, and are provided with all the necessary things for their present existence. Places of fulfillment of guidelines shall be secluded areas and islands from which the guilty ones cannot get back to unconfined freedom, but must remain where they are. 234. Be at all times lenient and forgiving in accordance with equitableness, fairness/responsibility/moderate. So it is, if anything is decreed on one by his next one, or by authority or by the court, then the demand for atonement shall be made with justification, and the guilty one shall be taken for punishment through an equitable, fair/appropriate conviction, although neither life nor limb is allowed to be harmed. The laws and recommendations of creations are explained so that everyone may learn from everything and promote their knowledge and their wisdom, so that they may become good and follow the laws and recommendations of love and of creation for their own benefit and to the well of all, and create everything for the best in themselves. Only those who contravene these laws and recommendations of creation commit an outrage against them and against the truth of life and against everything that is rightful. And whoever puts themselves in the non-right and commits an outrage against the truth will meet a painful punishment in themselves through lovelessness, discord, unfreedom, dispeace and inequality, disharmony, as well as many things that have a negative sense and wrong value. 235. There is no value in your life in retribution and revenge, because through retribution and revenge you turn yourselves into guilty ones. Therefore your acts of retribution and your desires for revenge must also be punished.